Hi, I'm Dr. Emily, and we're going to do another episode of Q&A for this little light.
All right, so with our Q&As, we just asked you guys to ask us questions, and we're going to answer them. I made a little list, so here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right, right off the bat, they want some tips for cats with chronic cat flu. And go.
So I don't know what a cat flu is, but I imagine it's like like the viral upper respiratory infections that cats can get, which include herpes virus, calicivirus, and what's the other C one? Chlamydia. None of these.
The big C.
None of these can be transferred to people, but they can cause cats to have chronically upper respiratory infections, chronic upper respiratory infections. So tips for these cats, keep an eye on them, and when they get really bad, they might need antibiotics. Some cats will need long-term antibiotics. There's certain ones that have some antiviral properties, and kind of given every few days or every other day can work to keep the chronic ones at bay.
This is kind of could be its own little standalone video, right?
Yeah, we see so many cats with upper respiratory infections, and the problem is once they get infected, most of them get infected as little kittens in the little barn that we found them in.
Yeah.
They pretty much have it for life. A lot of cats get over it, but a lot of cats, it'll just keep coming back over and over and over. We have a 15-year-old cat who is constantly a sprinkler.
Yeah, poor Delphi. All right, moving on. How is work at your new location?
I really like it. All the doctors get along really well, and we work really well together, and all the techs and assistants are fantastic. They're great to work with. And the hours are great, and I don't have to do on call, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a wonderful work environment. We get to work together. It's really nice.
And literally just outside the door of our work is the Shenandoah National Park.
Yeah, we go hiking occasionally at lunch. It's a lot of fun. All right, how to keep flies off dogs, especially their ears? That was a question we had.
I guess.
Go ahead.
No.
I've not ever known that to be a big problem. I've not seen a lot of flies buzzing around my dogs before.
I guess if a dog stays outside a lot, like if you have a Great Pyrenees maybe that's watching a herd of sheep or goats or koi.
Clean the ears, would that help? Like make sure they're nice
cleaning
and clean.
the ears would help, but a lot of times just flea and tick preventatives will sometimes help with flies. Frontline can sometimes help. But normally most dogs that we see as indoor pets don't have that problem.
All right, so this is more of an exotics question, but
Exotics.
what would you call it? It's definitely not like a cat dog vet question.
Probably just wildlife.
Wildlife.
Ooh, public health.
This is a public health question. If most bats eat insects, how do bats get rabies?
By getting bit by other rabid bats. Rabies is only transferred through bites, through saliva.
Yeah.
So the only way they can get it is being bit by another bat or other rabid animal. And if you ever find a dead bat in your house, you should get it tested, because some people don't even feel when they get bit by these animals. And if you have something that's in your house that's not normal, or anything that you can get close to or pick up is not normal. So if you ever have a bat that allows you to pick it up, or doesn't fly away, or even in the daytime if you have bats, that you should raise some red flags and have that bat caught and tested.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Also, any wild animal that approaches you that shouldn't, don't pet it.
No, that's just a general good advice. All right, if an egg has 2 yolks, does that mean twins? Means it's delicious.
Lots more fat.
Yeah.
And deliciousness, for probably not as good for baking, but really good for scrambled eggs or omelets. I don't know about twins. I have no idea.
Probably doesn't necessarily mean twins.
I don't know anything about chicken. Other than a double egg yolk would be quite delicious.
Yes. All right. What is a good brand of cat food?
So this is a hard question. There's all sorts of cat foods or dog foods that are really good brands. Most of the companies that have been around for the longest time, like Purina, Hills, Royal Canin, Iams, those are all really good brands. They've been doing research for years and have been benefiting from that research. They have done actual feeding trials versus just kind of trying to balance it based on what they think the dog needs. So those would be the big brands I guess I would stick with. I feed my dog Hills. The kittens are being fed Iams right now.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, and one more thing.
No,
Grain-free is not necessarily the best. So most dogs don't have food allergies. They have allergies to other things, including just dust mites. If you truly think your dog has a grain allergy, you can try to go grain-free, but I would get it checked with your vet because some of the grain-free foods have been found to cause heart disease in dogs. So you don't want to risk that. Grain really isn't as bad as people think it is. It actually has a lot of really good benefits in it.
What's that?
Awesome.
All right. So moving on. Canine birth control. What's up with that? Why don't we have it?
We do.
Oh yeah?
It's called spaying and neutering.
I think they're looking for more of the pill. Birth control.
I don't know how that would work because
Well, you want to get rid of the hormones, right? That's part of why you want to spay your dog.
there are chemical castrations, I think. But I don't know how that would work as far as like why would you want to have your dog intact if you wanted to have it on birth control?
You want to deal with the heat cycle, but not have puppies. Just, I don't know.
And the potential pyometra that will cost you thousands of dollars in the middle of the night in an emergency clinic?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Probably the reason why there's not any canine birth control is it's just so much easier to spay, so much better to spay. You should spay them.
Pretty sure that nobody wants to put the money into researching canine birth control when you can just get your dog spayed or neutered.
Yeah. All right, so this is another question that really deserves its own video. But how to prevent kidney and thyroid disease in cats?
So
in 1 minute, go.
1 minute. So we don't know exactly what causes why so many cats have kidney and thyroid disease. There's a lot of theories out there. But I think the biggest help you could do for your cat is having their blood checked once a year at their annual. There's a special test you can do right now called an SDMA. And basically what that does is it's early detection of kidney disease. So it'll be increased before the kidney values are ever increased. So you can say, oh my gosh, SDMA is increased. We should start our cat on a kidney diet or other precautionary things you can talk to your vet about.
It's preventative.
Right. So I think once a cat gets into the older ages, let's say like, I don't know, 8 to 10.
I was going to say 9.
See, I think it'd be a good idea to have them checked yearly for their thyroid and kidney values.
Do lab work. The more you know. That's a saying, right?
There's a star.
So why do some dogs just hate other dogs? There's a story about one dog who hates a particular group of dogs, but not all the dogs they meet. What's up with that?
Dogs be bitches, man.
Well, half of them are.
Yeah. So,
What do you think it like comes down to a dominance thing? Like
probably.
It's all about pack order.
Dogs are not as loving and family oriented as we want them to be. Some of them can be super nice and loving and get along fantastic, and some of them will kill each other. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of like people, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Some dogs just don't tick. Some, if one wants to be dominant and the other one
Also wants to be
dominant or doesn't understand the totem pole, things will get ugly. Or if one gets tired of being on the bottom, like Rigby, our dog, did, then they start to fight back, and then it gets really ugly.
Yeah, it's all about social standing and pack order.
Invade is brutal.
So my dog eats grass.
Mine does too.
Is that diet issues?
No, I don't think it's diet issues. No. Sometimes they'll eat grass when they're not feeling well, or sometimes if their stomach hurts, they'll eat grass.
Sometimes it's habitual, right? They just
sometimes
are
dogs
in the habit of eating grass.
Yeah, some dogs just like grass. So I don't think it means anything. Now, if your dog's eating grass and vomiting every day, I would talk to your vet. But if it happens every once in a while, it's pretty normal.
What is a good age to let kids take responsibility for pet care? Like feeding the dog, watering the dog, walking the dog, that kind of stuff.
How much do you love your dog?
How good is your kid?
Right.
India's almost 8.
She's not ready.
She's not ready.
She told me she wanted another kitten before we got Popcorn and Toad. And I said, well, maybe if you start cleaning the litter boxes out. And she said, but Mommy, I do way more important things like keeping them exercised.
Exercise is important.
It is. Cats get fat really fast.
Yeah, but there is no good number for age. It is all about how good your child is, how responsible they are, how good your dog is. And
how much care your animal requires.
Yeah.
If you have a 14-year-old ketoacidotic diabetic dog with Cushing's disease, it might not be the best idea to put your child in charge of it. But if you have a dog that will hold its bladder no matter what, it's not the best for it to make it hold its bladder that long, but that would be a better ideal candidate for a child to start taking care of.
Yeah. Well, and it's a weaning process anyway, right? It doesn't go from 0 to 100.
Right.
The child is now in charge of, hey, make sure the water bowl is full. And you progress from there. All right. So my dog goes outside, plays in the grass, gets allergies, gets all itchy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What's up with that?
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah.
My skin does not like grass.
No. Is it best just to try and wipe off their paws, off their
belly? If you know it's just a grass allergy, there are some wipes you can get to kind of clean the animal off after they've been outside in the grass. If it's really uncontrollable, though, you can talk to your vet about getting on allergy medication, whether it's a shot or some pills.
They have Apoquel for this, right? Is that
so the pills would be Apoquel, and then the shot would be Cytopoint. Some dogs respond well to one, but not the other, and they probably have some other products out there in the works. You don't want your dog to live on steroids, though. So 1 or 2 steroid episodes for allergies is fine, but once it becomes a chronic thing, then that can cause diseases.
They just get super jacked, right?
That's a different steroid.
Yeah. Whole different thing.
It's a that's a testosterone-like steroid. It's not the same thing.
All right. How does it feel to be known the world over?
It's weird. It's nice. It really is. I get people asking me to come visit them in Brazil and Germany. I don't know them, but that's really nice of them.
We should go.
I don't know who would take care of our children.
That's a good point. Fair point. Also,
I'm not flying my 3 kids across the ocean. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Although that is
you wouldn't like us when we got there.
It's a perfect tie-in to the next question.
Okay.
Who watches the kids while you're at work?
Daycare.
Daycare. We use Angel's Corner. Great daycare. Mm-hmm. We're happy with it.
Yep. And they've been open this whole time since they provide daycare for some essential workers, and we know
were them. We were essential.
We're essential. You can't. Essential workers can't go to work if they have to take care of their kids all day, and they can't do their job, which is essential. So yeah, daycare.
Yeah.
In short.
All right. So why are hookworms so hard to get rid of?
I don't know that they are. I guess I guess, if they're in the yard, so I don't know.
Clean up the yard, right?
Yeah, basically clean the yard. They live in the poop. If you clean the poop out of the yard, which could be a job for your kid.
There you go. First step in the
But
responsibility.
they need, speaking of steps, they need to wear shoes.
Yeah. Well, you don't want those coming.
Yeah, hookworms can actually burrow up through your skin and your feet. So you don't want to walk around barefoot when you're cleaning up the poop. Treat dogs with dewormers that are very common. Most common dewormers get hookworms. And then if you keep them on a heartworm prevention, that will prevent them from getting hookworms. But the biggest thing is cleaning up the poop in your yard with shoes on and wash your hands afterwards, because hookworms can get to people.
Yep. All right. How to help my older pet with aging issues, arthritis, glaucoma, hearing loss? Are there things I can do to help my pet?
The biggest thing you can do to help your pet, again, is going to be take it to the vet once a year and, express your concerns and ask if there's anything you can do. I think one of the biggest things I see with older pets and issues would be obesity. If you can keep your pet a decent weight, again, you want to be able to feel their ribs pretty easily, but not see them. Then I think that prevents a lot of problems in the future.
Yeah, well, with arthritis in particular.
Especially, yeah.
If the animal doesn't weigh as much, it's not as painful to move around, right?
Right. I mean, imagine if you were super painful and you had to carry like 100-pound weight around. It'd be a lot harder.
Yeah. All right, so can pets grieve for lost housemates, for lost other pets?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was true. I thought that was all a bunch of phooey.
Oh, yeah?
Hooey?
Yeah.
Hooey, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
So why? Why did you think that was not true? What are you talking about?
I just thought people were anthropomorphizing their pets a little too much, which is when you put human emotion into an animal. But then whenever we euthanized Ginger, my old horse, her son, who was like 10 years old, he like ripped around the pasture for an entire 24 to 48 hours. We had to sedate him. Yeah, we had to have the vet come out and sedate him because he was working himself into a sweat.
Yeah.
And once he stopped running around the pasture like crazy, he just literally stood on her grave for like a month.
Yeah, he was just back in the back pasture where she was buried.
He wouldn't come up for grain. He wouldn't come up for anything. He just stood on her grave for a month.
Yeah. It's what killed little Anne.
Oh.
And what was that? Where the red fern grows? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, it totally can happen. Yeah. 100%. All right, the last question, last but not least, this one was posed by my mom because my sister is pregnant. Hey, fantastic! Her first kid.
Not your older sister, because she's on her fourth kid.
Yeah. So
she's not having any more.
I have two sisters.
At least she claimed.
I'm the oldest. The next one has 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest sister is pregnant for the first time, and my mom would like to know, what is the best way to introduce a pet to a new child?
That's
slowly.
Hard, very slowly.
Very, very slowly.
Never trust your pet with your baby.
No, don't leave them alone. Don't leave them even a couple feet. If you're away from them a couple feet.
I mean, you don't have to assume that your pet's gonna devour your child as soon as you walk away, but don't leave them in the room with the pet. You just never know. I've read so many horror stories about babies being mangled or killed by people that thought that their pet liked their baby. And the pet may have liked their baby, but they didn't know that carrying it by its head would kill it.
Yeah, things that a dog can do to a puppy, a dog cannot do to a human baby.
Just be super careful. Try to learn about their body language. The side eye, when you can see the whites of their eyes, like that.
It's nervous.
They're upset. Yeah. Panting, they're nervous, they're upset, they're stressed. So if you notice a good big pant with the side eye, like,
it's not good.
They're freaked out, okay? Yeah. Don't push them any further. try not to let the baby invade the dog's personal space.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the biggest things you can do is prevent the child, well, teach the child respect for the animal. Granted, at an infant stage, it's kind of hard.
It's hard.
But you don't want to let the child crawl into the dog's space. You don't want to let the child grab the dog's toys, pull on the ears. Don't take pictures of your child sitting on your dog.
Yeah, it's not good.
I just see so many pictures where people are like, oh, look, they're cuddling. And I
If you
just
look
see
at the dog,
the stress on that dog's face.
yeah, the dog is freaking out.
And they're very lucky that child didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So just be careful. Pets may love the child, but don't treat them like they're going to be the best buddies in the world. Just treat them like separate entities and give them their own space and make sure that child respects the dog's space. And don't ever leave your kid alone with the animal. I think we had one question about a cat sucking the life out of a child, or you know the old wives' tale? Or was that for a different episode?
I think that was something different. But you can go ahead and address that if you want to. I've not written that down.
Cats don't suck the breath out of babies.
No.
But they might sleep on their face.
Yeah, don't let the cat get in the crib. That's still bad.
My cat sleeps on my face, but
Yeah.
I'm an adult and I can roll over. Babies can't roll
Babies
over.
can't do that.
So if a cat sleeps on its face, it might kill it.
Yeah. Not by sucking the life out of it, but by...
Suffocating.
Yeah. All right, that's a happy note to end
On
on.
a happy note.
Is there anything else you wanna say to the people
Did
out
we
there?
cover them all? Did
We
you
did
skip
them
any other than
I
those?
don't think so. No, I'm gonna skip any of them.
All right. Thanks for watching.
All right. Hope you have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.